Well, tonight, Republican state leaders are calling for an investigation of Governor Gavin Newsom.
This over allegations he advocated for changes to a major law to benefit a billionaire friend and donor. The state legislature ultimately approved those changes. KCRA 3's Ty Steele joins us now with more on what this means. Ty?
Yeah, this all centers on California's law requiring major fast food chains to pay workers a minimum wage of $20 an hour this April, and a big exemption that was made. Lawmakers passed the FAST Act back in 2022. It set the new wages and established a council to bargain for working conditions on behalf of the state's 500,000 fast food workers. But baked into the legislation was a unique exemption: chains that bake and sell their own bread. And that includes the fast food chain Panera Bread. And tonight, sources tell KCRA 3 that the governor pushed for that exemption after negotiations with Greg Flynn, who owns 24 Panera Bread restaurants here in California. According to Bloomberg News, Flynn has been a major Newsom donor, giving $100,000 to Newsom's campaign against the 2021 recall and nearly $65,000 to his 2022 re-election campaign. So when Newsom finally signed that agreement into law in 2023 at a news conference in Los Angeles, KCRA 3's Ashley Zavala asked why the exemption was there in the first place.
There's a provision in this bill that exempts bakeries, essentially places that sell and bake bread on site, so carving out essentially Panera and Boudin. I wonder, why in the agreement did you all decide that those workers should not be within the umbrella of this?
That's part of the sausage making that was part of 257, the original bill, and we went back and forth, and there was part of the negotiation. It's the nature of negotiation. There's a lot of component parts in the industry. It's not just Jack in the Box, not just McDonald's. There are a lot of different players. This affects a lot of different franchisees and different models as it relates to that, and different conditions and environments. And so that was all part of the give and take, and that was the collective wisdom of the legislature and ultimately led to my signature.
Well, tonight the governor's office responded to the report in a statement saying, quote, "This legislation was the result of countless hours of negotiations with dozens of stakeholders over 2 years. Staff in the governor's office met with dozens of business owners as well as union representatives, as is expected when policies of this consequence are moving through the legislature." Meantime, State Assembly Republican Minority Leader James Gallagher has called for an investigation. Posting online, can any franchisee get an exemption from the $20 minimum wage law, or do they need to donate more than $150,000 to Newsom first? As for Greg Flynn, the billionaire franchisee, he told KCRA 3 as far back as 2022 that if the bill passed, he wasn't sure if his company would survive. He has not responded to the latest reports. Back to you, Golston.